Stephen Colbert's late night talk show just got canceled while he was the #1 late night show, and that means one thing. Linear TV is dying, and their audience is literally dying off. It's morbid, but it's true. This was all based in the fact that they were not earning back the money they were spending on the show. They were losing about $30 million in the last year. But the thing is, ad spend is not down, but ad spend on TV is down. But as always, the ad money has followed the eyeballs to YouTube, to TikTok, to podcasts. These late night TV shows are using industrial era production techniques in a post-industrial media world. There's hundreds of people who work on Colbert's show, while someone who does something equivalent or like with a similar audience on YouTube would have way less. Not to talk about podcasts, who I think are actually competing more with the older generation. All that scale and bloat is just dead weight now, and I think YouTubers have shown it. And as I talked about in the video 2 days ago, the internet wants to make you lonely. Monoculture is dead. They just killed off the trending tab on YouTube, and now the late night shows are getting killed off. And that, if anything, was the definition of a monoculture or something that every American was watching. This actually didn't pick up that much internationally, but Americans had this thing that every night a high percentage of people were watching these shows. And honestly, as a Swedish person, I don't really get it. We used to watch maybe the news at night. But yeah, this was an era and something that kept the country of the US together. And now it doesn't exist anymore. There's no shared stage. Everything is fragmented and siloed. And yeah, the ratings are down. People aren't watching this anymore. So Fallon's Tonight Show lost over half its audience since 2018. Jimmy Kimmel is also down, but to a lesser extent because he also started smaller. If you watched Jimmy Kimmel's show, it's a little bit more niche, but I think it's got more of an audience that sticks by it. Colbert's show, that is the #1 right now, has 2.4 to 2.5 million viewers nightly, which is less than half than what the top talk show had a decade ago. And as I mentioned, Colbert's show costs $100 million per year to make, and last year they earned $17 million back. So they are losing $30 million a year. Impossible. And it's hard. You can't just start paying people less, but that's what's happened with the replacement. Like YouTubers and the people who work on YouTube are just earning less money compared to these old style production houses. In 2018, all the late shows pulled in about $404 million, and in 2024, they pulled in $200 million. That's a collapse. That is less than half. And I think a big part of this is that culture has changed. We're online now. We don't want to be somewhere at 10:30 or whatever to watch the show. And as you know, a lot of these shows put their viral clips and key segments on YouTube. But one, it doesn't pay as much per view, so they lost a lot of money there. And secondly, therefore they train their audiences that I don't need to watch the show, I can just watch it online anyway. I don't really think there was a better way that could have done it. It's just really the life cycle of things. It's really similar to how YouTubers can have formats that work for 5 years or something, and then it just stops working for them. I think that's what's happening to late night. Even though late night lasted for a really long time, it's just not a thing that works anymore. There were some other reasons why I think people soured on these shows. They definitely felt a bit extractive and fake. Jimmy Fallon's fake laughing became a meme. You had James Corden and Ellen, who both were considered really bad people, at least online. I know there was a lot of evidence of Ellen, but from what I hear, even Corden kind of treats people in not the best way. I personally didn't like how Jimmy Fallon's show used to just steal concepts from YouTubers and try to make viral segments without even acknowledging it. If his show crashes and burns, I'm not super sad about it because they've just been acting like they were the underdogs all the time, just stealing stuff, taking whatever. I just hate that sort of thing. I remember just seeing viral videos and then Fallon would just do it without any mention of the original next week. And it sucks. Felt like they were trying to extract and pretend like they were part of internet culture when they were just almost laughing at it at the same time or like looking down on it. Another thing I always hated with these shows was when you watch a celebrity do something very normal, but somehow it's supposed to be interesting because the celebrity does it, like do charades or something. I'm a firm believer that good content is good if a nobody does it or a celebrity does it. And if it is something that would be uninteresting if a nobody did it, then it's a bad idea and you shouldn't do it. But for some reason, a lot of people have been brainwashed into this idea that just watching a normal person do something really boring is good content. And I hate that. And I hope that fades away with this death of late night television as well. So yeah, podcasts and YouTube are probably the new TV on demand. YouTube is the biggest streaming service in the US now, bigger than Netflix and anything else. And it can be longer, messier, and on demand. I think podcasts are just way better interviews than the interviews on the late night TV shows ever were. The publicists have realized this. So if you have someone who needs to promote something or go on something, you send them on podcasts. That's where the heat and the audience is. I think CBS canceling Colbert means that this is the end. This is going to open the floodgates. People like Fallon and Kimmel still have some time left on their contracts, but I think once they're over, we're not going to see it keep going. Unless they downsize in a massive way. NBC has already cut down The Tonight Show to 4 nights a week, and CBS replaced James Corden not with another talk show host, but with a cheap game show instead. But I think there's a cultural loss here, similar to what I talked about in the Internet Wants to Make You Lonely video. These shows used to be a cultural glue, maybe even internationally. I used to watch these clips on YouTube to understand what America was like and what was going on. It was shared moments and an insight into the US as a nation. And since a lot of us watch America for culture, it was something that we all took in internationally as well. Monoculture is dead, and we're all fragmented into our bubbles with more division and fewer shared spaces, and it's going to be harder to understand other people as we go forward. We still have viral videos, but at this point, they're platform-specific and siloed and rarely universal. MrBeast might have hundreds of millions of views on videos, but it's a lot more splintered. I don't think there's a lot of American adults watching MrBeast necessarily. He's more like an international coalition of kids, if I had to guess. But yeah, late night didn't just fall, but culture moved. And we as audiences have all moved on to smaller, more honest, and more flexible formats. And even those are probably not gonna last that long. Things are moving really fast now. So goodbye to the late night shows and to linear TV. Their days are officially numbered. Ask your doctor if TMJ is right for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.